Alright, so then. Actually, I will leave it up to the chat. Let me know if you want to continue on and get through the Caveman stages now, or, you know, go one themed area at a time and, you know, return to this at some point later. In the meantime, we have this great music to enjoy. Although I am now noticing that, and I noticed it a bit earlier as well, the loops are shorter, so I think that may well be how they got it to, you know, be as good as quality of, as good of quality as the Super NES original, is that they just took the same song but shortened the loop, so that what exists is of equal quality, there's just less of it. Which makes some sense. Okay, folks are opting to keep going, so then. We hop up here, we get a smart bomb. Which... I forget if these are... if this stage will introduce the guys I'm thinking of or not. So we may want to use the smart bomb there, may not. We'll see in a moment. Actually, yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. Can I get him back out of there now? Ha. Excellent. Okay, that's 2 of the 3, there we go, and... that was a fail. So I was hitting the wrong button. Alright, so then. Yes, we'll grab that in the meantime. And that. This. Which... I guess is just... sort of a shield, I guess, which makes sense. The shield gives you an additional hit point, which is nice. Although generally, Baleog is best to give the additional hit point to, since he's the one that's going to be up on the front lines of combat. But either way, I always like sending Eric up ahead of the rest. Sort of, scout everything out, get to everything, since he can do so quickly and with all his, jumpy ways. If there was just a snail there, I would be fine. Switching to Baleog, but the snail and the blue dinosaur... yeah, no. I keep trying to hit the X button, that is not there. This is going to take so long to get used to. Zit. We don't have an exit, we just have a zit. Oh, hush up, you've dealt with plenty of blue lizards. Because they still exist in Viking times. Somehow. And we don't need Eric to go up there. Just Olaf. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, I'll continue to pronounce it Baleog, since that's how I've always pronounced it, but it probably is actually supposed to be pronounced Baleog. I think there may have been something... Oh, okay, just an apple. Don't care. Alright, that's that. There should be a blue lizard. Oh, also... Actually, I already showed this off, didn't I? That we can kill care of the enemies with Eric. Yeah, you can totally kill enemies with Eric, and works out just fine. It's just that if they take more than one hit, having Olaf around is best. And dealing with Caveman is, it is something that Baleog can take care of on his own, but definitely Eric has pretty much no chance of doing that all by himself. Oh, this is the Flaming Arrow, which is only given out in a select few levels. Actually, what I'm gonna do... Go ahead and bring that back to him. So make sure you don't fall too far, because falling damage is a thing. You can swap items between the various Vikings. That is what the Flaming Arrow does. Normally, that would have dealt no damage to him. You can't normally kill the cavemen or even damage them unless they are in that little walking around mode and not just rolling around. Yeah, we're gonna need Olaf up here. Okay. With the Flaming Arrow, Baleog can kill everything in one hit. This applies to things which normally have defense, this applies to things with multiple hits, this applies to things that he normally can't damage, period. So yeah, the Flaming Arrow is quite the boon. Let's see what else is over here. Besides a skeleton-y death for Eric. Not much else. And there's me hitting that old X button. And I keep saying that because the X button is the use item button on the Super NES. I think Y was for, yeah, Y was use the bow, B was sword, A was for, you know, using buttons and such, and L and R were still for switching Vikings. Little bit less of the skeleton-y. And exit? No, snail, then exit. And just to show it. To actually... Because again, the death animations are just as good as all the rest of the animations. So this time we have an Eggsy. I don't know if I remember that being a thing in the Super NES version. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, I don't know. I really could have sworn that the exit was always properly shown, but anyways. The only thing that sucks about this whole, like, the incredibly minor thing that sucks about this whole game saved thing is the fact that we don't get the names of the stages anymore. And, you know, there were always some kind of little thing to give you a little indication of what the level was going to be about. Like, I think this one, the word they used was treetops, which... obvious. Very obvious. Might have been waterfall, actually, I don't know. Well, apparently that's as far as we can jump. Oh, and I should show off. The big steaks here are special in that whereas all the other food items restore 1 hit point, steaks restore 2. Also, just for the hell of it, because the cavemen are annoying. I mean, admittedly, I'll still have to deal with more of them, but that's okay. And that is my favorite thing to do. Get through a level entirely with Eric, and then bring the others up to speed. I mean, this could be the Lost Eric instead of the Lost Vikings. So this is how you deal with cavemen with Baliog alone. Just keep sorting him to get him to turn around and then hit him once he gets out of his rolling form. And don't need to deal with that one. Oh yeah. Forgot about that snail there. That's okay though. Not worried in the least bit about health. I say as I wait carefully for the cavemen, and then still get hit anyway. So everybody needs a cool waterfall that hovers in midair. That just goes without saying. I could have sworn. Thank you. Another flaming arrow stage. Flaming arrow stages are the best stages, without a doubt. Wrong direction. That's okay. Basically, you hit L as Eric to go to Olaf, or Eric to Baliog, it's R, and it just goes in that order of sort of left to right. Eric to Baliog to Olaf, etc, etc. So, if you do want to go in a specific order, you can just hit the correct button and you will always get there. Is this... I don't think this is openable. No, okay. Alright, throughout the game there are several of these things. Interactable things. Stuff you have to use Baliog to shoot arrows at until a thing happens. Okay, so derp. It's okay. Doesn't really matter, that was the last enemy. Let's not have Eric get roasted. The fireballs that thing spits do 2 damage. Any fire that's not like a lava pit or something will deal 2 damage to you. Oh, I was trying to do the cool drop and at the very last second put up the shield, because that negates all falling speed. But I missed it. That's okay.